Hello everyone, and welcome back to our channel. Today, we're journeying back to the year 1870 to witness one of history's most poignant and devastating military actions, the final charge of the French Imperial Guard at the Battle of Sedan. This wasn't just a charge. It was the death rattle of an empire. The Franco-Prussian War had been a disaster for France. Emperor Napoleon III, nephew of the great Napoleon Bonaparte, found his army outmaneuvered, outgunned, and encircled by the highly efficient Prussian forces near the fortress town of Sedan. The situation was hopeless. The French army was shattered, morale was at rock bottom, and defeat was inevitable. Yet, in the face of certain doom, a final act of defiance was about to unfold. General Auguste Alexandre Ducrot, looking at the impending collapse, reportedly turned to his staff and said, "We are in a chamber pot, and we are about to be shat upon." It was a grim but accurate assessment, as Prussian artillery relentlessly pounded the French positions, turning the battlefield into a fiery hellscape. The elite of the French army, the Imperial Guard, were held in reserve. These were the best soldiers France had, meant to be the decisive force, the final hammer blow. But now, they were simply the last ones standing, with the Emperor himself present on the field. A spectator to his own downfall, the decision was made for one last desperate attempt to break the Prussian encirclement. It fell to General Marguerite's division of Chasseurs d'Afrique and Cuirassiers, some of the most prestigious cavalry units in the world, to lead the charge. These were men clad in gleaming steel breastplates and plumed helmets, a sight designed to inspire awe and terror, but against modern artillery and rapid-firing needle guns, they were tragically obsolete. Picture the scene: thousands of horsemen, sabers drawn, thundering across the field known as the cavalry of Italy. They were charging directly into a storm of steel. The Prussian infantry and artillery crews could hardly believe their eyes. They held their fire, letting the French cavalry get perilously close, then unleashed a devastating, coordinated volley of fire. Eyewitness accounts describe a horrifying spectacle. Horses and riders were torn apart, falling in tangled heaps. The charge was broken almost as soon as it began, but incredibly, they rallied 3 more times. The survivors regrouped and charged into the meat grinder. It was an act of breathtaking courage, but also of sheer futility. General Marguerite himself was mortally wounded, his face shattered by a bullet. The once magnificent cavalry division was annihilated. This final charge at Sedan wasn't a strategic move. It was a gesture of honor, a refusal to surrender without one last show of imperial glory. But it changed nothing. The next day, Emperor Napoleon III surrendered himself and his entire army. The Second French Empire was over. The charge became a symbol of gallantry in the face of impossible odds, but also a brutal lesson in the changing nature of warfare. It was the tragic final salute of a dying empire, played out in blood and courage on the fields of Sedan. Thank you for joining us on this look back into a dramatic moment in history. If you found this story as compelling as we did, please hit that like button, subscribe for more content, and let us know in the comments what piece of history you'd like us to explore next. We'll see you in the next video.